Congratulations, you have made it to the final draft of your science fair project. Here's what you need to do. Your grade for this section of the project is 100% based on if you've made the corrections that I asked you to make. So let's take a look at our report. I bumped up the final drafts due to the top of your Google Classroom stream, so it's right there for you. You know at this point how to open it up and attach your project and submit it. So here's our project. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have corrected any spelling errors or sentence fragments that you have, grammar, punctuation, all of that. You've got spell check on your computer, so you should not have anything that's misspelled. The most common thing that I saw when I was doing your rough drafts is that when you were writing about yourself and you would write I, you used a small I instead of a capital I. Make sure you get all those fixed. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your formatting is all correct. Okay, to be a proper MLA, you need to make sure that your margins are right, the spacing of your lines all needs to be correct. Now, if you haven't adjusted the template that I had for you in the first place, it was set up correctly. So if you haven't made any changes to that, you're good to go. But do double check and just make sure you didn't accidentally readjust something. However, if you have changed your fonts or any of that stuff as you've been working, this is where you're going to have to do some changing back. Okay, so your fonts need to be Times New Roman. They need to be 12 point. The only thing that needs to be bolded is you can bold your title page here, and then please bold your paragraph or your section header. So things like introduction, down here hypothesis materials and so forth. Make sure those are bolded. And underlined, bolded, underlined, and centered. And just in case you're not sure how to do the centering, you would just highlight it here, come up to these buttons up here, and you can see these are your justification buttons. They tell you to justify on the left. This is center, this is justify on the right, and then this one here that's a block is to square, justify on both sides. Okay, so if you need to center your titles, you can just highlight them, come up here, pick this one that says center, click on it, and it will center your titles. Okay, and then you'll do the same thing if I saw a lot of you have your blocks of text like this, where they're all centered in the middle here. You don't want that in your actual blocks of text. So make sure you highlight your whole block of text, head over here to where it's going to be justified on both sides, and that'll turn it into a nice little square block. Okay, so that's the format. That's most of the formatting. If you don't have double spacing, here's how to do that. Again, you're going to have your block of text highlighted, and then your spacing is this little button right here where it's got the block of text with the arrow up and down. Okay, and if you click on that, you can see you've got the choice of single, 1.5, double. You want to click double, and that will give you these lines in between your lines of text without you having to go and return and all that. So that'll give you the lines in between your text. If you have weird spaces in between your paragraphs, like if you finish this one and you've got extra spaces here that you can't get rid of, chances are good right here, it's going to say remove space after paragraph because it's put in an extra space there that you don't need. So that's how you can get rid of that. Okay. Then once you have checked your grammar and punctuation, you want to make sure that all of the things that you have got in here are actually yours. Don't forget that on your template, I had little paragraphs on each of these sections that said what you should do on that section. A lot of you still have those paragraphs in your report. You don't want that. So make sure you take out the paragraph that I wrote so that all that's left is the stuff that you wrote. Also, if I've changed color and given you comments, make sure you take those out too. Please don't leave that in your final draft. The other thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your page breaks look fine. So let's go back up to the top and look at those. Okay, your title page should be its own page, and your table of contents should be its own page. Okay, with a brand new page starting an introduction. So here's how you can do that so it doesn't mess up everything else you're doing whenever you adjust something. When you're finished working on your title page, okay, you can come up here and maybe space down if you need to, and then you can go in here and say insert. Here's your page break right here. Okay, so you'll tell insert page break, and then it will automatically insert a page break there. So that if you were to go in and make some edits somewhere else in the paper, it would not screw up where this page break is. Okay, so you want to put a hard page break here at the end of your title page, and you want to put a hard page break here at the end of your table of contents. Okay, again, that's insert and page break. Okay, and that'll put a hard page break right there. Now, once you get into the body of your report, you don't really need to do a page break. It can all run together. The only place you might put it is if the page break would be in an awkward place. For example, if you had, if the end of your page happened to be between your heading here and your paragraph here, that would be a weird place for a page break. So you might just want to go here, tell it automatic page break so that you could start next on the next page. Okay. So that's the only place you'd really need to do that. Please make sure that your pictures have your captions on them, and make sure that you've told us who took your photos. Okay. And you'll need to put that on your board as well. But don't worry about that right now. Okay, make sure you've got all your charts, all your graphs, make sure everything looks nice. A big part of this is, does everything look clean and tidy? Okay, and the other place you're going to want to put a hard page break, looks like I have not done that, so let's do that together. Okay, you're going to want to put a hard page break at the end of your report before your bibliography. Okay, so you'll just space it down to the end here. There we go. Now we have our bibliography on a nice new page. So we'll put in a page break here so that if for some reason I should decide to go in and edit anything else in my report, this will still stay here. It won't move up or down based on where my pages go. Okay, so this is your final draft. You should be ready to roll. You submit this in your Google Classroom just like you have all the others, and I will see you right back here so we can talk about your final project. That's your board and your notebook. Good luck.